Hello students. Today we'll be starting with properties of groups, and as our very first property, let us prove that in any group identity will always be unique and every element is going to have a unique inverse. So that is theorem 1. THM in short is theorem. So let us first prove that in a group identity has to be unique. So let G comma star be any group for that matter. Look at axiom G2. G1 is associativity, G2 has to do with identity, and the third axiom has to do with inverse. So the second axiom tells me that there has to be an identity in G. So existence is guaranteed by axiom G2. There has to be an identity in G. So I know by this axiom that there will be at least one identity element in G. What we are trying to establish here is that there cannot be more than one, so that identity becomes unique. So there is a standard technique that we use over here. Since anyway existence is guaranteed, let us see what will happen if this group ended up having two identity elements. So let E and E dash be two identity elements in G with respect to the operation star. Now recall what is our expectation from identity element. Identity combined with any element of the group will always give you the same element of the group. So firstly, because E is identity, I know that A star E as well as E star A will always be equal to A. So identity combined with every element of the group will give me exactly that element. Now I also, in the same breath, I am also saying that E dash is identity. Now if E dash is also going to be identity, it has to satisfy similar requirements. So every element combined with identity has to give me the same element once again. So since E dash is also identity, I have the same expectations from E dash. E dash combined with any other element of the group will give me the same element. Now you look at E star E dash, and at any one time we are going to put the spotlight on precisely one of the two elements. It is like having two actors on the stage. When you put the spotlight on one actor, the other one fades away into the darkness. So firstly, let's put the spotlight on this guy E here. So if I think of E as, by spotlight I mean, I highlight the fact that E is identity. So because E is identity, I know that E combined with any other element of the group should give me that element. So if the spotlight is on E, if I highlight the fact that E is identity, identity times any element should give me that element. And now all you have to do is to shift the spotlight, just shift the focus, shift it from E to E dash. So this time, let's highlight the fact that E dash is identity. Because E dash is identity, any element, look at equation 2. Any element combined with E dash should give me the same element. So since I am thinking of E dash as my identity, E dash into any element should give me the same element. And now left hand sides are equal. So right hand sides must match, and therefore E must be the same as E dash. So if there are two identities in G, they ultimately end up being one and the same. So you cannot have two different identity elements in G and Therefore, henceforth, whenever we are dealing with, because this object is unique, we will call it the identity, and in general, we'll denote it by E. So now we have proved that identity in a group is unique. Next, we also need to prove that every element has a unique inverse. So let me start with an element of G, an arbitrary element of G. If we look at axiom G3 of a group, axiom G3 guarantees that every element will have an inverse with respect to that operation. So in particular, this element will also have an inverse, and so again, existence is guaranteed. What we are trying to prove over here is the uniqueness. That means I need to prove that I cannot have more than one inverse for this element. We once again use the same technique. Let, if possible, B and C be two inverses of A in G with respect to star. So I am assuming that there are two inverses for the same element A, and now again look at the expectation that we have from our inverse. If B is inverse of A combined with B must give me identity of the group. But C is also assumed to be inverse of A. So when I combine A with C, once again I should get the identity. Now there's a little bit of a trick involved to prove that B is the same as C. We will start with B. Notice that any element combined with the identity of the group will always give you back the same element. So B is equal to B star E. Okay. Now in place of this element you have to make a smart substitution. So look at equation 2. I know that A star C is E. A star C is E. So in place of this E, I can as well write A star C. And now I know that this is a group. So associative property is there. And the associative property allows me to shift the brackets. So I can write this as B star A star C. But now use equation 1. B star A is E. So this becomes E star C, and any element into the times the identity will give you that same element. So we have proved that B is equal to C. And therefore, if we assume that B and C are any two inverses of A, they work out to be one and the same. That means A cannot have two different inverses. So inverse of every element in G is going to be unique. Now, therefore, whatever is inverse of A, firstly we can call it the inverse of A. The is always used when you are sure that the object is unique. So I know that inverse of A is going to be unique. I will call it the inverse of A, and now it makes sense to give a notation for the inverse because the object is unique. Now Fraley uses this notation for inverse of A, but I find it easier and more intuitive to use this notation for inverse. So this is the notation that I will be using, but keep in mind that this is the notation that has been used in the textbook. So inverse of A exists and inverse of A is unique, and I now have a notation for the inverse. Inverse of A is denoted by A raised to minus 1. Keep this in mind, and we will use this in our next result. So in a group G comma star, please do not mind the short forms. in a group G comma star, we will prove that inverse of the inverse will always give me back the same element, and this is true for every element in the group. Easy to prove if you remember the definition of inverse. Take any element A in G. By the above theorem, I know that it will have unique inverse, and we are going to denote inverse of A by A raised to minus 1. Then I know that an element times its inverse should give me identity of the group. And now when you have combination of two elements giving you identity, you can always say that one of them is the inverse of the other. Either you can say this element is inverse of this, or you can also say that this element is inverse of this, depending on what you are trying to prove. So both elements are inverses of each other. So for my convenience, what I deduce from this is that A is the inverse of the other element. I am saying that this is the inverse of this. And now let's translate this in the form of an equation. So A is equal to, we agreed to write inverse of any element as that element raised to minus 1. So inverse of x will be x raised to minus 1. By exactly the same idea, inverse of this element will be this element raised to minus 1. And therefore, inverse of the inverse will give you back the same element. We will continue with properties of groups in the next lecture. Thank you for now.